Anything else, Lindsay, that you want to cover? Okay, and then lastly, Lindsay and I had talked about a summer series. If you guys would attend, we'll continue to do some classes through the summer. Summer typically is low attendance because people are busy on vacations. But we do have the solar panel class coming up. I can't remember the date, but you guys, when is it? It's the 3rd or 4th of May. Okay, it's the 3rd or 4th of May that we're having the solar class. It's really important that you guys know what questions to ask when you're listing a property that has solar panels, or if you're showing a property with solar panels. And we have a checklist and a presentation put together to help educate you guys on why all of that matters. So watch for, we'll send the Event Brite link out. We will also text it out, and you'll get it a couple of different ways, because we're just still really trying to figure out what are you guys paying attention to and listening to, so that you know about what we're having as our offerings. But if we were to do a summer series, it would not start until June. So if you guys would let us know, hey Jack, if you will let us know that you are interested in a summer series, what classes you would like for us to cover, it will help us put together a program for you. All right, now have I covered everything? Okay. Well, welcome. Glad you guys are here. Several of you guys traveled quite a ways to be here this morning, so thank you very much. I know traffic and getting up early in the morning is not always fun on a rainy day, so appreciate the fact that you guys did. We're going to talk about videos. How many of you guys feel comfortable doing videos? All right, on Zoom. Okay, the majority of you guys have said no. Brian raised his head. He is comfortable with videos. Brian, why is it you're comfortable? What did you have to do to get comfortable with doing video?
I just did them a lot. I mean, TikTok helped. I mean, you see all sorts of people doing stupid stuff on TikTok, and
that's a great place.
That is a great place. Yeah, I love it.
You just can't be scared of it. You just got to do it. Even if you are scared, just do it over and over again, and you'll get used to it eventually.
I love it. Absolutely. So Deborah Bird, Plug and Play SM, is here today with me because she's my soul sister and I just love her dearly. Really. But also because this is her jam. We're going to go over why video, but I think y'all all know why. You should be doing it. But what we want to talk about is what is keeping you from doing it. Why do you not feel comfortable doing it? We think we know your answers, but we'll talk about that, because when I show you the stats of what people's expectations are of you as a professional, I think that you'll even be more convinced that you got to do video. Before we go there, what I want to remind you guys, our brains are programmed for the adrenaline rush. Our brains are programmed for the cortisol, and it's always looking for that chemical. Fear and excitement creates the same brain chemical. The adrenaline and the cortisol is the same. The difference in fear and excitement is just how you frame what you're about to do that you were scared of. So if you can learn to psychologically go, okay, I don't like myself on video. I don't like how I look. I don't like how I sound. And I'm really kind of scared about how to deliver the message that I'm trying to message. If you're truly passionate about your message, then you can turn that fear into an excitement because you're delivering something that feels comfortable to you. So as we go through this, please know that your message, the content that you provide, and the way you say it and frame it is going to be different than anybody else, because we are all different as humans. People crave connection, and video is a great way for you to connect. A picture is okay, words are great, but nothing beats a video. It's second to being in person. So getting on camera is super important, but Deborah can tell you from an analytical standpoint and from building a business around a brand and the importance of video, that your strategy is really important too. And we'll cover that a little bit. You guys on Zoom, be sure to mute yourself. Just in case you say something crazy and embarrass yourself. So I have a slide presentation, but I want this to be an organic class. I want you guys to feel comfortable asking questions because at the end of the day.
Hey, William, Tom Seaman, how's it going?
Hey, mute yourself.
I just wanted to check in with you. I know we talked in the past here about various things, so I'll circle back and see how you're doing and see if there's any questions I can try to help answer now.
Hey, that's a great script, but I'm sure you don't want us to listen.
Okay.
We all do a TikTok using.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'm going to share my screen and we're going to get started. This is a CE class. I do have some content that we got to make sure that we cover because it is CE.
Right now, I would love to, but right
Yep.
now, I think I'm thinking all the other stuff. But yeah, still thinking about it. Haven't done that.
Okay, no problem. No,
You know, you did something.
You find to hear somebody on there like, yeah, I'll listen for 4%. You just pay the buyer's agents 1%.
Oh, and that's Corey Mills, even better. He'll take a half and do all the work for you. All right. Deborah, go ahead and take it from here, and I'm going to try to pull up the slides.
Okay, so I want to break down video, and I know she started with, oh, I gotta stay up here, then I can't walk.
You can't walk.
Sorry,
It's,
that's gonna be really hard for me.
it's
I
like being
to
grounded.
interact.
Yeah.
Those of you who aren't doing video, why? What is your big obstacle? Like, just be perfectly honest. For those of you who don't know, I used to teach middle school, and I was the teacher that was like, can you please give me all the kids nobody else wants? So ESL, special ed, very emotionally disturbed, it didn't matter. There are no stupid questions in class. There's no judgment. I've reinvented myself multiple times from being in the mortgage industry and then trying to figure out what I want to be when I grow up, which I'm
Figuring
hoping
out.
I don't grow up. Is
Yeah,
the
that's
key.
the key.
So I want this to be interactive, and I want to make sure that we address real issues and not just fluff. So what are those of you who didn't raise your hand, so I won't call on you. When I did this when I was a teacher, my students would be like, they thought no eye contact meant you wouldn't get called on. But what's holding you back? Is it you don't know what to say? You don't know the tactics of like basic how-tos? What is it? Yes.
I always think of good content to say, like I have it in my head, and then it's like a lot of times I'm not around and I'm writing it. So then I'm like, oh God, great thing I was gonna say. So that's one thing.
Okay.
And then when I go to do it, I'm like, I know I'm gonna watch it back like 50 times and go, nope, not gonna do it, not gonna do it, not gonna post it. So that's
Okay.
I know that if I just do it, I've got value.
Mhm.
I know I can bring value. I just don't do it. It's just the doing it.
So that would be more of a system thing. How do we, because you always fall back to the systems you have in place. So we will help. We'll talk about systems and how to get organized with your strategy so you know what you're posting and when. What else? Yes. Girl, they make filters. No, I'm just kidding. You can be like a dog if you want to, but
Yeah, in disguise. And the way that I see myself presenting anything, I just don't feel like it's natural.
I don't want to say that's, and I could be wrong, but I feel like that's a female thing where we're so critical on ourselves. And some of my clients, when we do content days, like I have a makeup artist come in and a hairstylist, and we just knock out as many videos as we can that then we will post throughout the month. But I'll say, not everybody wants picture perfect. Like it's kind of like the family photos. That's good for, certain times of the year, maybe every quarter. But the videos that get the most traction that I see from the back end is the most organic, where it feels like it's raw, it's genuine, it's in the moment of like, hey, I'm going live because I wanted to give you this update of this home that was just listed. It's literally across the street from this house. And the reason why you would want, blah, blah, blah with school districts. Those are what allow other people feel safe to be who they are too. So when you show up, like I did one, I literally looked like I look like Albert Einstein in the mornings. It's a hot mess. I'm a hot sleeper, and this hair is not straight, and it's not quite like 40s. It's not curly, but it's not straight. So it's like very frizzy, and it looked either like a cross between Albert Einstein and Ace Ventura. But it's real. It's like, this is how I wake up. I don't wake up flawless, but it allows other people. It's not about you.
Yeah.
When you make it, it's about giving other people permission to be them. And for that other person who's like, oh, okay, she's also a hot mess express, making it out of the house with her kids, trying to get to work. That's real. Or it's you at midnight looking at comps, because that is the day in the life of what an agent does. Because again, going back to framing, people have a perception of what agents do or lenders, and then what's real. And they will believe that story until you give them a different story to believe in, which is what I love about video and social media, is it has the ability to influence. And video has the ability to influence more than, say, even if we were just to send the same information. An email is great for information, but when you're trying to create influence, video is going to carry more weight. So the face deal, it is your face. I mean, people who see you, it's like, I can.
Hey, Kathy, Tom Seaman, happy Wednesday, hope all as well. When you get a chance, give me a call back so we can talk through your situation regarding some improvements. So 920
Yeah.
540.
Okay, what are some other issues that people who aren't doing video? Yeah.
Hello?
I wanted to just kind of show what I look like, so that I saw it. I want them to approach me high and not scared. So I've been on with some videos. Oh my gosh, people were just so responsive. And I thought, okay, I see yet. I started doing that. I started doing some, oh look, it's coming in gray, and all these like here.
Yeah.
The response was like they didn't care. They want to see you wake up in the morning. They look like that.
I got a little pissed. I was just giving them nuts. And
The Einstein look.
Yeah.
We're gonna make that.
No makeup.
So Deb, you know what? We got to get, if they can't hear any of that. The Zoom can't
Oh.
hear. Yeah.
Because of this?
Yeah, the mic doesn't pick up. So what Debbie was talking about is that people crave the connection and the authenticity over perfection. It's real. It's real.
But you have to know that's because you're giving them permission to be real. So like what you said, you don't always just have to post about work. In fact, you shouldn't. It used to be the 80-20 rule where 80% of the time it was all business and 20% was personal. There is a marketing shift going on that is, I call it the third rebellion, of just the evolution of how ads and marketing, and I won't go through the entire history lesson, but there's a reason why we're at the shift that we're at. And this is the end of control, where your customers actually your marketing department. In fact, 2/3 of your marketing right now is coming from your clients, from Facebook groups, testimonials. It's never been easier for them to refer you or not refer you. So you have to get over the fact that it's not about what you look, it's about who you are as a person, and can people align with that? Because what we have seen is from the very first time ads were created, people are just over, can I be unfiltered? Or yeah, people are over the bullshit, like the hooks that you then buy into, that you put in your information and then you're under delivered and you're like, you're disappointed. And so the number, what we've seen just from 2019, the number of people who are paying for ad blocking services, just between Hulu, Spotify, YouTube, people don't want to be marketed to. because we have over marketed to them.
On
And
that,
the end of the snake oil and just, they want what's real, to the point where you have to show up who you are. Like your brand character is what I like to see on social. Like if you could think of your social media as your online transparency of a resume that you get to control, and you don't have to reveal. I'm not saying you have to put your personal life out there. And like Gary Vee is a great example of a marketer who you don't ever see his kids or his wife. He did have a picture of a woman recently, and I'm like, I'm not pretty sure it's not his wife. I don't really know what's going on there, but he doesn't usually show anything personal. You can control what you want people to see, but he still is a human, where he's connecting. He's talking about the New York Jets or his garage sale binging. You have to have in your content strategy other pillars that make you a human, because people want to do business with humans. And if they didn't, they would go to Zillow or the robots if they wanted to. So how are you going to prove your value, which to me, one of the easiest ways when you're walking these streets, like I would be doing videos saying, this is why you use me as the expert advisors, because I walk these streets every day. I've sold this house 6 times. If these wolves could speak, this is what they would say. Or I've shown this house and it's gone through 4 different families. And this is the renovations that I've personally witnessed from walking these streets. And I know a home on this side of the road that has this tax or PUD or mud district or whatever, versus on this side of the street. This is why you hire an advisor, not some flat fee broker that isn't going to give you the expert advice because they don't walk these streets. It's the same thing as when you're showing a home, and I don't care if you don't have any clients. Like I would be the agent that every time a home got listed, I would go show the house, and I would be pointing out things like, if you're a first-time home buyer, here's some of the things you want to look out for. If there's cracks in the walls, or when you go to shut the door and it doesn't quite shut all the way. Like these are typical signs of, things that you would want to be aware of. Because again, when you're on social, and I'd say social and I take YouTube out of it, because YouTube is really a search engine. So the perception of when you're posting and creating content on YouTube, I want you to think more of when people are searching, like moving to Sherman, Texas, buying a second home in Sherman, buying a rental home. How do I qualify if I'm self-employed? Like it's more of the how-to process that they're typing in when they're searching on that content, versus all the other platforms. It's still an escape activity. Like people go there when they're going to the bathroom, when they're at a sales meeting and they're bored. It's an escape. So they want to be informed, but they want to be entertained a little bit too. And depending on when you're making your post, like if it's a motivational post, midday may not be the best time to post that, because in the mindset and the psychology of your consumer, is that really what they want to be receiving at that time? So everything you do with social, if you make it less about you and all about your audience, your ideal audience, what does this post mean to them? Like I've seen so many lenders lately, not to pick on lenders, but they make these posts about being the Scotsman Guide Award. And I'm like, cool.
What does that mean?
What does that mean?
Why do I care?
To somebody else?
And that's the question. That's the question. Why would someone care about what I have to say? And then do your video based on delivering what it is that you need people to hear. So many times, I too have these great video ideas, but they're when I'm driving and I can't do anything about it. But you guys have voice memos on your phones. Use your voice memo to record while you're driving and you have this brainstorm idea. Oh my gosh, this conversation that I just had with this client would be such a great video, because I've heard that same question several times.
Yeah.
If you've heard the question several times, create a video around it. Let's go over this, the statistics on the why, because I still want to hit home with you guys on the importance of video. So I don't want to go over these slides for you, but other than the one, social videos get shared 1,200% more than text and images created. 1,200%. That's a lot. So knowing that your audience wants to hear from you in the form of a video, does that help you overcome your fear and turn that fear into an excitement for you, because you're delivering a message that you're passionate about? I think you have to figure out what you're passionate about first. before you can get comfortable delivering a video that's authentic and true to who you are. I was reading the book or listening on Headway. Headway, by the way, is a great way to get all of the summary of a book so that you can decide whether or not you really want to read the entire book or if the summary is enough for you. And it's in an Audible. So Headway is an app that I have, and I was listening this morning while I was getting ready, Steal Like an Artist. So I could post the same video saying the same thing or I could post a video saying the same thing that Vanessa said, and it's going to come across totally different. So sometimes your ideas come from someone else's video that they just did, and that's okay too.
Mine always do. I don't think anything is original anymore.
No.
I mean, something I've seen or I've heard, and I just then make it my own. And let me tell y'all, it wasn't a very easy journey for me either. I have an identical twin. We have the exact same DNA. She was one that got me into mortgage. So I was dissecting frogs in a lab when she was like, you know, you send me more closed deals than my top agent. Have you ever thought about getting into mortgage? And I'm like, no, because I'm a teacher. My first degree was nursing and I am not a salesperson. And she's like, well, I think you should really consider, like, you're just this natural connector. Well, fast forward, third kid later, both my husband and I were teachers. I was like, all right, I'm going to have to do something different. So I went and I never started through cross country or, you know, Bank of America or some big box bank. I only learned you had to eat what you kill. And it was by providing exceptional service. Well, then we had moved to Houston. That was my first time to move out from under my sister's wing. And I'm like, okay, how am I going to market myself? Like, this is the first time I've had to really try to think about who I am as a person and not just as a twin. And then 11 months later, we moved back to Dallas, and my sister and I worked for the exact same company in the same market, same products. We look just alike, and she has 10 years of experience on me, which, being an identical twin and you're compared your entire life with people, they all want you to be similar. So then they're pointing out, oh, you're the one with the wider hips. You're the one with, you know, the flatter nose. And you're like, thank you. That really helped my self-confidence this morning. Like, those are some affirmations
about my
I'll start-
face on video.
Yeah, I'm like, cool. But I had this own complex of like, why would anyone use me I have an identical twin who's a top originator that knows way more than I do. How do I even put myself out there where even when I would go on social, I even created a whole separate Instagram account that was Deb X, because I was always known as an extension of her brand. And I color outside the lines a little bit. I've always been a little, you know, different, I guess. And so I would try to hide that and not show the real me, because I thought, you know, I need to conform and be what everybody else would want me to be. But it felt like this hollow victory. And so it's a lot of personal development of getting okay with how you look and how you sound, and really getting to the point where you value your opinions more than other people. Because let me tell you, you're going to get the naysayers. You're going to get negative comments. You are. Because now you're putting yourself out there. I made a post. I think, Corey, you even responded on it. Bless you. I made a darn post about buying this flip property on Lake Cedar Creek and how much money we made in a short amount of time. And I had an agent commenting saying, I can't believe you would put this on social for the hardworking people who make that much in a year. And I'm like, dude, that's why I did put it on social, because I used to be that teacher that only made this amount. And now I'm learning how I can actually have money working for me by leveraging real estate. But it was a lot of like somewhat hateful messages, which is all good for the algorithms anyways. But to me, it's just a teachable moment, because there's a lot of misinformation out there. I sit at my kids' games and I hear people say, I'm just going to wait to buy. They're renting. I'm just going to wait to buy until the market crashes. I'm like, where do you see the market crashing? Exactly. What evidence shows that? I'm just going to wait 6 more months until rates go down. I'm like, okay, here's 2 things I know. Prices are going up, rates are going up, you know, but it's just, how do you flush out these stories that people believe in unless you're creating consistent messaging? But just know there's going to be friction along the way. That doesn't mean you stop doing. Consistency is the key. That's the biggest thing with socials, making sure that you are consistently posting. So how do you then organize a content strategy? It goes back to what Stacy said with, I tell my clients, just put the notes section of your phone, like that's your brain dump of all the frequently asked questions you get before, during, or after the process, from title, from your clients, from a lender. And you just have one section in your phone in the notes that's just frequently asked questions or your ideas, and pick a day of the week. Monday for me is video recording day. All the other days I look homeless. It is not always great, which is okay too. But for my more professional videos, I'm going to make sure I have makeup on and look halfway decent. So I just know I time block an hour every Monday, and I don't even have to think of what I'm going to record. I just pull up the notes section of my phone and I'm like, okay, I'm going to get as many of these done as I can.
Here's another way I do that. I'll create a calendar event, and I'll put a list of all of, so I'm reminded every week I got to record a video or videos. And I have a list on the calendar invite. And as I do a video that covers that content, I just delete that off the list. And then I add things on the list as I think of them too. So it's on my calendar invite. So you can do it either way, use your voice memos. But Gina, I want you, getting over how we look and feel, sound on video. I don't know if you ever get comfortable with that, but I think I've had to do a lot of mirror work myself, like looking at myself in the mirror. I tell this story often, but in my bathroom, there's a mirror in front of my bathtub and a shower. So you can't avoid seeing yourself fully naked. And
She's a freak. That's all that means. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, that's what that means. But it's really, really hard. At the end of every day, I know I'm going to have to look at myself naked in the mirror. But what I've learned is to look at the things that I appreciate about my body instead of focusing on the things I don't. And it's the same thing when you're doing videos. If your fear is you don't want a close-up video because you don't like your nose, or you don't like whatever it is, look at yourself for the things you do appreciate instead of picking on the things that you don't. Yeah.
Also, I'll add to that, if you think about, like, somebody called me right now, said, hey, we need so much, we need to sell our house ASAP. But, oh, sorry, I don't like the way I look, I'm not gonna show up that day.
Yeah.
So it's the same thing, but those people see you every day, they're not sitting there.
Corey's point is, if you do a face-to-face with somebody, are you so worried about what you look like? No. It's a connection, it's a conversation, and nobody's thinking about what you look like. So
The biggest thing I always tell people too is you're making it about you in the moment. And it's like, I was just telling my son playing football, I couldn't stand every time the coach gets on to him, this is what he would do. And I'm like, listen, when you do that, it's very selfish, because a team wins and a team loses. And when you start pouting, you're making it all about you instead of about the team. So that's actually very selfish. And I'm gonna blindside be Sandra Bullock and come pull you off the field if you keep doing this. Instead, every time your coach gets on to you, what if you said, thanks, coach, you're right, coach, I'm on it, coach. Instead, you make it all about you. So when you go to do a video, and not to make this a religious thing, but I gave this example of, if Jesus Christ had a phone back in the day and he could just, was he judged and
criticized.
if he knew what he had was truth, are you convicted enough to share your truth because you believe that what you have could benefit even just one person? If you switched your mindset and didn't make it about you and focused on, what do my people need? What does this community need from me? What did they not teach kids in school about credit, finance, money, that I could maybe help transform the community I serve by the houses I put people in, just by sharing a message that's meant to benefit them. Take the focus off of you. Like every post I make, I'm never looking at how many likes, how many comments, how many views, because that's not the motive of why I do it. Sometimes the motive is to be funny. I wanted to be Patch Adams when I grew up, and I believe laughter and humor can be very healing. So I post some things that are funny, sometimes borderline probably inappropriate, but it's part of my humor.
Yeah.
It's to break up the scroll. It's to make people feel good. So when that's the motive, you don't focus on how you look anymore and how you sound, because I will say, more than anything, it's your audio. I know we'll get to that.
Yeah.
It's not how you look. One of the most viewed videos, I don't know if this is pathetic or that I had done for my sister back in 2013 was, it looked like the Blair Witch Project. It was probably the 100th tank. I'm laughing because I'm like hiding my face so that she will just record. We were called the Donahue team then. She wrote on a whiteboard, DonahueTeam.com, spelt Donahue wrong, mind you. and had a big bruise on her cheek because she had just gotten her wisdom teeth pulled, but was talking about how rates work, and it's still the most viewed video that she has. And I'm like, I don't know, that's pathetic, but it was the content, it was the value, it was nothing about the production. And we overthink what cameras and lights and studios and it having to be perfect. But I'm like, nobody cares. They want value. They want the info. So deliver the info that you know people need, which a great starting point is just keeping up with a frequently asked question, or what are the fears that people are having, or how could equity solve problems for people that they don't even know that they have. Super seniors are great ones that one of the largest demographics selling right now because they're sitting on a bunch of equity, but your messaging to them is going to have to be different because they may be sitting in a home that they've been in for 20 years, which God knows that's going to be a lot to pack up, but it's emotional. And so you have to remove some of the friction. So what messaging could you send to that audience that's going to be attractive to them where they don't even know, maybe they could do a reverse purchase and they didn't even think retirement was on the horizon, you know? So it's like, how can you show what problems do you solve? What are everyday problems? It could be a divorcing family. And it's like, what you got to talk about the problems you solve for people through real estate. And we know money is a big problem right now. Well, there's a lot of people sitting on equity. So how could equity solve multiple different pieces of challenges? I had a client that said their family, the son was autistic, and it was going to be a year before they could get the boy help because of insurance. It was going to take a while. Do you think they cared about their interest rate going up if they refinanced, or if they had to sell a home, downsize, and maybe not get the home that they dreamed of, but if it got their son help? So how are you sharing those messages? Because that is what is emotionally connected. And regardless of how connected we are today, some human truths that are never going to change are people crave connection. We are starved for intimacy. We've never been more connected, but we've never had more people depressed and lonely. So how are you making your community feel like they belong to something? They want to feel significant. They want to feel special. They don't want to be on a conveyor belt that you have automation of like, oh, congrats, your contract was executed, where nothing feels personal. Because that's the marketing shift that we're in. In fact, I would audit anything that's automated right now that could you leverage to a human if it's meant to build trust, because people just don't want. It was Christmas. I had 29 voice drops from marketers where I'm like, it's rude. It took up all my space. They were all like, oh, we talked last week about this new car sale. I'm like, no, we didn't. It was a marketer. Marketers will overdo and dilute everything. I say we ruin everything over time because we'll overdo it. So the amount of text messages and voice drops, I'm like, you don't have my consent. It's disrespectful. Like, earn my number. Don't just provide value. If everything you could think of is what problems do I solve for people, and how do I get that message out there?
Here's a couple of most watched videos just to give you guys some ideas on different ways to video. Listing videos, obviously, but make it a fun twist. If we talked about this the other day in one of the classes, if you're a coffee drinker and where you drink coffee in the morning matters to you, it's part of quality of life for you, or where you watch the sunrise and where you watch the sunset. And when you're doing listing videos, if that's your thing, make it your thing and show them, hey, listen, I just found the perfect spot for your first cup of the coffee in the morning, and video that as part of your listing presentation, showing off the lifestyle that the house provides for the families that might be interested. Moving to your city, you guys, we have people moving here in droves. What is there to do in this town? What is family-friendly fun look like in this area? Or your thing could be, for Corey, he's a hunter. So what are some areas in this? If you're moving here as a hunter, where do you go hunt? What can you hunt around here? We got some kind of quirky, like, it's not like down south where you can go, hunt with a gun. Anyway, my point is be true and authentic to yourself, but here's some video ideas that you can tailor and make your own.
So how I would structure that is I would create a content calendar just to give you like some themes or some focused days of when you're wondering what to post. And I'm just going to throw these out there. The first Monday, so I theme like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, all the way through Saturday. And then I mix up what type of content I would look for. So the first Monday of the month, I would do like your trade or move up sellers and buyers. Second Monday of the month, maybe your storytelling around downsizing. When is it a good idea to downsize? How to know if it's the right home? Have you been in your home for 10 plus years, sitting on a bunch of equity? Do you have an empty nest, coming because it's graduation season? The third Monday, I would focus on super seniors, mainly because these are the demographics that are selling the most right now. And then the last Monday, I would do rent versus own. These are videos of just showcasing if you had stories that people could refer back to of relatability of, think about those who are moving up. They may be their first time to ever have to sell a home and buy a home, and they have no idea how that works. When do those closings have to occur? Do they have a bridge loan or not? Like there's some great messaging that if you just knew in your head, okay, the first Monday of every month, this is what I'm going to focus on. Think of a story that you've helped of a client before and make that your target. Tuesdays, I always keep that like fun, show culture, personality. You can do some reels of like behind the scenes of your team who maybe, had their 100th offer finally get accepted. Like it's just to show the inside. Because remember, people are still used to reality TV. So you want some of the moment you show people kind of behind the scenes footage, they feel like now they belong and they're a part of your team. Wednesdays, I'm a big fan of doing webinars where you're being the advisor of your community, and maybe you invite guests, and you don't have to be the person who knows all the content. You're like the first Wednesday of the month, it could be a family law attorney. Here's what to, if you're in a community property state, let's say you're thinking, which by the way, just in Collin County, 70% of the divorces filed are pro se. They're not even using divorce attorneys. What scares me with that is how in the world are they coming up with the value of their home, which most people have to sell. I was a CEO of a family law firm for a couple of years, and so I know all about this, but it's very hard for attorneys to come up with the value of a home. Like our attorneys in our office would look up Zillow. I'm like, for the love of God, I'm deleting that bookmark off your computer. You're not allowed to use Zillow. So as an agent, you could solve that problem. What if you had a landing page that said, if you're a divorce attorney and you need help coming up with the value of the marital residence, put in the information here and we'll help create a CMA for you. Like solve a problem for them. But when you interview them, here's the leverage. You create a marketing piece for them to send out to their entire database. So that gives you brand exposure with their built-in trust. Okay, you guys are both going to go live. Now you're getting in front of their audience. You're getting in front of your audience, which you can do in a Facebook group, or you can use StreamYard.com, which is a free service that you can go live with. But you're asking them questions like, hey, if I have a client that is thinking of selling, but there's a geographic restriction, what do they do? And you're just asking the divorce attorney, what if, we have a lot of people that are about to be graduating. Did you know if your kid is 18 and goes to college and does something stupid and is in the hospital, did you know you can't make any decisions for them unless you have a medical power of attorney? Like these are things that just, I want you to focus on family and community. It doesn't just have to be real estate or mortgage, but you're
still seen as the
leveraging.
expert.
Yeah. Second Tuesday of the month would be, or second Wednesday of the month, you could interview financial advisors or life insurance agents talking about the market. What's a good investment? Should you pull out all of your money from a 401k to buy a home right now? What are some other ways to leverage debt? So there's lots of things you could ask there. Plus, again, you're building, it gives you a reason to prospect too. And it's really easy to say, hey, I have a show that I host every Wednesday where we're showcasing top industry leaders in our community so we can bring value and bring introductions and help your business. Would you be willing to be on my show? It's every Wednesday at noon. And everyone's like, sweet, because they think it's like TV now. Okay, so it makes it really easy to prospect. Third Wednesday of the month, you could do a CPA, taxes. I'm self-employed. I need to buy investment properties. I need cost segregation. I need to legally not pay taxes. Like, can you help me? I need some CPA help. And a lot of other people do too. And then the last Wednesday of the month, you could get with your lender and just do a market update. Here's where interest rates are. Here's what we're seeing. Here's how the history of wars have impacted housing and interest rates. By the way, there is no pattern. It's when there's a recession, then rates usually drop, which there is a recession coming. Thursdays, you could make just your market updates. You could vary it up, like maybe the first Thursday of the month is a certain neighborhood. The second Thursday of the month is a different neighborhood. And you're just giving market updates. Here's how many listings are live. Active listings are increasing. There's good news. We've seen for the first time in 6 months, active listings have actually gone up and new listings. That's good. It's good news. Fridays, I would do more client stories. So first Friday, you could do all about sellers. The second Friday, you could make all about buyers. The third Friday, you could make more annual reviews where you're touching base with your clients you've helped a year ago. Just here's how your home has appreciated, like good job on making the decision to buy. And then the last Friday could be more for those who are relocating. And then for the listings and open houses, I would do like MTV crib style.
Oh,
It's
for
like
sure.
going through, obviously not with the homeowner there, but like, let's see what they have in their fridge. Okay, let's not see what's in their fridge, but you know,
Yeah. Make
you're-
it fun.
yeah, making it more, again,
It's entertainment. And what is
edutainment.
edutainment? Yeah. Education, entertainment. But you see how with a good strategy, if you spent 1 hour, it doesn't even need to be an hour.
No,
On covering all of these different most watched videos in a 1 month period of time. It's all about the strategy and getting the message out, which Deborah can help you with. I had some examples, and you guys are all, as long as you registered online through Eventbrite, you're going to get copies of the slides and the recorded video. So you guys can click on the links and watch some of these videos, but I just wanted you just to see, just to spark some ideas for you. 10 things you need to know before moving to Vegas. I mean, I'd click on that because the guy, I'm like, what in the heck has he got to say?
the most important thing about these is your hooks, because people scroll on average 300 feet a day. So scroll, 300 feet. There's over 500 hours of videos uploaded every second, over 5,300 posts made every minute. So it's a very noisy space. And just for there's organic strategy and then there's paid. The average person, less than 4% of your audience is ever going to see your post. So it still starts with word of mouth, because what happens is someone's referred or they hear your name. And if you're a millennial or Gen Z who is research obsessed, you better believe they're going to go. And they're going to scroll. They may not ever like, follow, or comment. So you can't judge your social media based off likes, comments, or follows, which has also drastically gone down since 2019. Why? Because we had people home for COVID, screen time was increased, humans got lazier. This is now the new consumption of TV, and they don't want phantom ads following them. It's a discretion thing. They just don't like and comment as much anymore. Nobody follows business pages anymore. You still have to have them because you can look, you can run ads through them, but you need to know sometimes you overthink one post because you're looking at it like this, when what typically happens is people are referred to you, they research, they put in your name, and they scroll for a couple feet and they're going to make a judgment on you. And it's usually based off two things: competency and warmth. Can I trust this person enough to contact them? Which is very misleading, because on a lead form, it may say, who referred you? Oh, my real estate agent. But how do you quantify what was the decision that got them to contact you? So that's what you need to think of, your online transparency of a resume. Are you showing competency, strategy, expertise? Don't just be like every other agent that's like, why me, just listed, just sold. Okay. It's got to, you've got to.
Why does it matter?
Yeah. And be the human, because if I see you like to hunt, I like to hunt. Now I trust you because you're like me. Oh, you have kids. I have kids. You like rock and roll. I like rock and roll. And it's okay. Some people may not like what you like. That's okay. I used to say, if I didn't want to go work an open house with an agent on a weekend, then I don't want to be your lender partner, because I want to have fun in life. And if you're a fun sponge, this relationship's not going to work, you know, because I'm spending my weekend with you. So be the human, because that also helps with alignment. People feel like when you're like them and you're willing to put yourself out there, then they like you. So those are the two things that they're going to judge you on. And that's organic social. It's just not going to be seen. Now, if you do reels, if you go live and you add to stories, it's not the same algorithms or rules that are applied to those. Obviously, TikTok was the #1 downloaded app for the last 2 years in a row. So the vertical video content, when I say vertical, it means like with your phone and it's done this way, and it's like quick 15-second videos. That is getting the most views and engagement and exposure. Why do you think that is? Because it's entertaining. We have attention spans of like 3 seconds. people are getting off of Facebook. It's still the #1 platform, but it got so saturated with ads that now you see more and more people on Instagram. Well, what do you think Instagram and Facebook are rewarding people to create? Reels, because they're competing with TikTok. And all the platforms, all they care about deep down is they're trying to create your addiction to stay on their platform the longest. They don't want you going to other platforms. Why? Because they can charge more for ads. So everything is about the psychology behind what is it that people want to see, and are they going to interact with it? And sometimes they're not. It's meant for more of just when they land on your feed. Because if I make a post with me and my 4 kids playing basketball, and you make a post of like interest rate updates or that you just had a new listing, the prehistoric behaviors of your followers showing history of liking, commenting, engaging with families that show pictures of their kids, do you think are more or less than liking, commenting, engaging with an agent who has a listing?
It's the kids all
Yeah.
day long.
So babies, puppies, those do great, but that's the algorithms are going to show what people like to see.
Mhm.
And it's really fun when I do discovery calls and I pull up accounts and it'll be like a bunch of really smoking hot chicks and like golf. And the dude's like, I don't know why that's showing up. I'm like, neither. No idea why that would be. But I just want y'all to realize you have to, the motive behind what you post and the reality is it's going to be still work. You have to give the best ROI is phenomenal customer experience. So people are still going to want to be referred to you and they're going to judge you that way. Otherwise you have to pay to play, and you pay for ads, and it takes about 21 times for them to see an ad where you can retarget, and that can be a hybrid strategy, but just, you got to know the difference between organic or paid and how they come together. And don't overthink just one post because the chances of people seeing it are really slim.
Mhm. Yep. Now, business reviews is another way to have something to talk about and also promote someone else. So it's a lot easier to talk about someone else's business than it is ourselves. So there are, for someone new to this area, they may not know all of the hot spots to eat and drink and things to do. So doing a business review and showing that is a good way for you guys to have some content that you're comfortable with, to get comfortable doing videos. Share someone else's stuff right now.
Always tag them, like especially with Instagram, if you can always tag location, that matters. Anytime you are doing video, if you can add closed captions, 90% of the videos people don't have their sound on. Why? It's because they're in a sales meeting, not supposed to be on social, or they're laying next to their spouse in bed, not supposed to be on their phone, but they're on. So most people aren't even listening. So you have to have the closed captions on there so they can read to help keep them on there longer, just so you know. But that's a great idea, going around and going to different bars or venues or, you know, arts and crafts stuff that's going on for the weekend.
Educational videos, again, they've got to be somewhat entertaining at the same time that you're providing information. Length.
I always say, I mean, if it's a vertical video, you want clear, concise, confident, to the point. The hook matters. The hook is what's going to cause them to actually click. Because remember, when the #1 mistake I see people do when they make reels is when you go to someone's feed, they don't have a hook. And when you just post a reel with no cover page, it's like, cool, you have a bunch of reels, but what are they about? You have to have on there, like the #1 mistake first-time home buyers make.
And that would be the text that you're editing on the video and then the post itself, which for those of you guys who don't do video right now, we'll go over some softwares that you can use and the easiest way to record and edit. When you get the slides, you'll get some examples that you can click on and actually watch some examples and go search some of the people that you see as an example. But recording, one thing I want to make sure that you guys know, audio. If you are going to spend money so that you provide better videos, audio matters. So if you can't, for those of you guys on Zoom, how frustrating is it whenever we have someone in the classroom talking and you can't hear what they're saying? It's frustrating because you're really trying to focus on the words and you miss the message because you're focusing on the words. So audio matters. What is your suggestion on audio for good, clean audio?
So there's two, if you're doing it at your computer like this, I want y'all to know you can record videos via Zoom, and the same all you would need is your webcam, and you can record, and you can even share your screen. Like if you wanted to show a map of how many new listings there are, you can do all that via Zoom. If you're using your iPhone, and I'm a big believer on when you're just starting out, use what you have when you're starting. And you can use AirPods if you have AirPods, that's the easiest way to get started if you're worried about sound and recording. Just use your phone. You can upgrade from there. Audio is like the brain actually will process audio before it does the visual. So the worst thing is when you don't have the audio control, where if it's windy and people can't hear you. I use the GoPro it's a wireless mic that you can put in your pocket, and you just clip it onto your shirt and it can connect to your phone. So that way, if you have like a tripod stand or you know it's always going to be good quality, which I think that's in some of the slides later.
It is. And then you guys pay attention to lighting. Like, I mean, literally, if you're going to do it from your iPhone, move around until you can see yourself clearly without the shadow. It's super important that you guys just pay attention. And you don't have to have fancy lighting. Use daylight.
You could do right here. You always want the video in front of you, or the window in front of you.
Window in front.
Natural light's best. I see too many times people will put their back towards a window because it's like the view, but then you can't see you. So if you have a ring light, great. Sometimes ring lights can be challenging if you have glasses and then you see the glare in your glasses. So the trick to that is to put it at a 45-degree angle. You can also but that's where it gets a little bit more complex. And if it gets too complex, you guys just won't do it. So if you use what you have and just get good lighting, like there could be a window right in front of you of natural light or a ring light, that is enough. And remember, dynamic, I see a lot, people are starting to do a lot of the same things right now where it's just talking and you have captions, but the dynamic part, even when you're just walking, again, people are bored just staring. They have to be entertained. They're
3 seconds. You got the 3 second attention span, which is why what Deborah's saying, movement matters. Because if you've got a 30-second video and you're trying to deliver a message and there's no movement in your video, chances are they're not going to watch it all the way through.
And watch time is important. You want people to stay on. I mean, that's also how the algorithms will reward people who make videos. The worst thing is if they're on your video and they get out of the app or they just swipe. So the content and the value, again, if you're constantly thinking, what is the purpose of what I'm creating? Who is it for? How will it help them? Should I go live? Lives are great. With StreamYard.com, which is free, you can pre-record a video, upload it, and it'll appear live.
Ah,
StreamYard.com. StreamYard.
Yeah.
So those of you who get really nervous about going live, or if you have vacations and you want to look like you're working, you can pre-record a bunch of different messages. Like maybe you're already at the house because you just got the listing. It's like, why would you want to come back? If you could go ahead and record a video, and then if you wanted to edit it a little bit, you could, and then upload it to StreamYard and choose what day you want it to go out and at what time, and it'll go live.
The beauty of going live, I'm sure you guys have noticed, if you're on the platform, you'll see a little banner that says Deborah Bird is live. And then people will click on it and stay on or get off.
It's part of the cocktail mixture of, if you can think of your social rank score like a credit score. You have different credit utilization, different credit types, whether it's revolving installment. Your social score is the same way, like your social history, your social optimization. Are you engaging with other accounts? Let me tell you, that is a triple threat right now. When most people aren't liking and commenting, what I do for our influencer clients, we log in as them, and I'm liking, commenting on strategic partners that send them most of their business, wishing their friends happy birthday, because that teaches the algorithm you guys have a relationship. So if you've ever wondered why certain people are always shown at the top when you may have 5,000 friends, you're like, why are all these stories? It's always Deborah up there. It's probably because you and I have either DM'd, private message, we usually engage with each other. So the system wants to show you people you engage with. So I used to rank my clients on, everyone started off as a 3. They became a 4 if they were a social media, like if they made a post and they tagged like my congrats impact box, and I knew that they were active on social, they became a 4. And the moment they sent a referral, they were 5. So I would rank them in my social media and have people go and strategically like and comment and DM and message as a way to stay top of mind without having to pay for ads. But I wanted my partners to know, and us, I use social as an extension to my CRM and database
Yep,
management.
absolutely.
That's really all. People don't look at text anymore, emails anymore. They never answer the phones. And my goodness, if you don't wish them happy birthday publicly on social, it's like you aren't friends. They get butthurt about it. It's like, so make that, when people aren't doing it, make that maybe the one thing you take away today. If you're nervous with video, maybe start with every morning you're going to wish everybody happy birthday on Facebook, and you're going to do 20 likes and 20 comments on other accounts of relationships that either have brought you business or you would like to bring you business. Start there, build relationships. Makes it a lot easier to kind of flirt that way and then go in for the DM and be like, hey, I would love to meet you. I'd love to have you on my show. I hated cold calling. And a lot of my lenders right now, I'm like, y'all are booty calling your agents right now because y'all haven't talked to them because you've been drowning in
Booty
refi business.
calling.
That is a booty call. Like, don't booty call your agents. You need to love on them a little bit before you do that.
No booty calls, it's great. So there's a couple of different ways. So the ring light is inexpensive on Amazon, but gives you everything you need, including the remote, so that you can just set your phone up on the pod. Like Deborah said, I think everybody should tilt that ring light down just a little bit, because I'll tell you, it's annoying to me to see light rings in people's pupil. I mean, they look possessed to me.
Yeah.
So especially if you're going to do a close-up like this, where I can see that light ring in your pupils. So tilt that if you're going to use a light ring itself. But that's a good option for you. It doesn't cost a whole lot of money. Most of our phones are going to now need a Bluetooth speaker or microphone, and they're out there. What'd you say you use?
The GoPro 2.
GoPro 2 microphone. Here is another mic that you can purchase that is a Bluetooth mic. It's also available on Amazon. Deborah prefers her mic, the Go-To.
I just said GoPro.
GoPro.
It's not, it's the Rode Go.
That's what I
Rode
thought.
Go.
Okay, Rode Go, not
I was thinking
GoPro.
GoPro.
Rode, R-O-D-E, Pro. How much is that? Okay, never mind. She's not gonna tell us how much it was.
I bought
Edit-
two because of when you're interviewing, you have a
You gotta have two.
receiver and then you
Mhm.
have, I don't know, maybe $200.
Okay, couple $100 for a good mic, but make sure you have good audio.
But it works with my Canon camera. It works with my iPhone. Like I can use it in multiple different.
Or get AirPods and use them, because the mic is good and they're noise canceling. Editing does not have to be fancy. You guys remember, people want authenticity. They don't want perfection.
Mhm.
And so editing can be done. I personally, right now, my favorite is just to record in TikTok, use TikTok's editing features, and then save the video, and then I can put it on the other platforms as well.
TikTok's my go-to. I do it in my lap at a red light, and people are like, "Oh, what software do you use?" I'm like, TikTok.
Or I have seen them comment going, you're supposed to be driving safely instead of doing videos. That's why
Oh,
you get called out on
all
that.
the time. I'm like,
Yeah.
thank you for being concerned. I did make it alive, since that was your.
Yeah.
But the editing, I mean, I would leverage that out. I can give y'all a reference of who can do video editing for agents. I do it for lenders. That it when done right, if you really want it like a professional video, I mean, it does take time to learn. To me, you're better leveraging that task so that you can focus on the higher dollar
Yep.
producing activities that are going to actually make you money, and leverage out the editing that can be done dirt cheap. So I wouldn't waste time learning editing, honestly.
Here's a couple of it for those of you guys that are nerdy about editing. There are some example editing softwares that are available, but hosting your videos is really important. And YouTube is not on here, but I personally, every video that I do, I like to store on YouTube, and I basically use YouTube like a bookshelf. So I have a place to store the videos, and I know they're there, and I can always go back to them and pull them out and use them in a post.
You can make it where the link is only visible
It can be private.
by whoever you send it to. So if you wanted in process type videos that were, I mean, YouTube can be, when you have your video vault on YouTube, it's like an employee working for you. So as soon as you have an executed contract, imagine just being able to send them this link where it's you have a professional video that says, here's what you expect. You just got an executed contract, da, 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 da. Or here's what to expect. We just listed your home, it went live, blah, 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 blah. Or here's the do's and don'ts of when staging or, exiting your home, please make sure you're not naked in your shower when we're trying to show it, unless you're smoking hot. No, just kidding. But you can have links that you can send out to people that makes it a lot easier than you having anything that you're having to duplicate over and over and over. I always say, learn to one-time it. Whatever questions you're being asked over and over, like for lenders, I built this out in our CRM where it's like, anytime a loan went to processing, this video went out. Goodness, anytime disclosures went out, and people always ask, why are my cash to close funds so much higher than what you told me at pre-qual? It's like, well, because we have to disclose every possible fee you could ever be charged, and we can only remove from there. We can't add to. But if I had that in a video, then when I'm getting the freak out text from a client at 10 a.m. on a Saturday, and I'm 2 margaritas in at a concert, I can just say, hey, here's a link. Like, watch this.
Do what?
At 10 a.m.
At 10 a.m.
Oh, I meant 10 p.m. 10 p.m. Sorry, at a concert. It's 10 a.m. somewhere. Then I can say, watch this. If you have any other questions, let's schedule time to meet on Monday. But my gosh, this is my weekend. So it's ways that you can use it to work for you.
Still a couple more apps that you can use from your smartphone. Corey, what do you use?
I use Final Cut Pro
Final Cut Pro.
and I use InShot
Okay.
and TikTok.
Final Cut is a good one. I use Adobe Premiere. But I would say Final Cut, that it's an easier one to learn. TikTok is easier to learn too.
Now-
What do they do? Are they editing?
For
apps?
editing apps.
Oh.
Yeah. Which is still, if you're new to video, I'm telling you, TikTok is just the best way. Record it in TikTok, edit it in TikTok. You can go in there and search trending songs. You guys remember whenever you're doing those trending songs, you could pick the trending song, turn the volume all the way down so they can't hear the songs. But from an algorithm standpoint, TikTok knows that you recorded a video using a trending song. So it'll help the algorithms.
I have an app for
Same
that.
thing for hashtags. But don't forget, you can hire someone on Fiverr to edit your videos. And it's not that expensive that way.
If you have the app Trend Talk, it will give you just choose United States, which songs are most trending and which ones are declining. But I use Trend Talk to kind of give a frame of reference of what sound I want playing. I get Trend Talk. Trend and then TOK.
So, whenever you're doing videos too, and you're trying to make sure people see the video, the description and the hook matters a lot. So the question you should be asking yourself is, why does this matter to the audience that I want to reach? And make sure that your hook and your description is based on why it matters. What am I trying to convey to them and why does it matter to them? So just so that we can do an overview, and I want to make sure you guys have plenty of time for Q&A, but why video? I gave you the stats. People expect video of a professional, and you guys are professionals in the real estate industry. You're mortgage lenders in the real estate industry, and you need to be sharing the knowledge that you have.
It's one of those things you need to adapt or die. I mean, honestly, we've been talking about video for way too long. Grandma's on Zoom now. If grandma can be on Zoom,
You can be
you
on
guys
video.
can make videos. So
And then we covered the most watched videos to give you guys some ideas. Thank you. Hey, I know I knew we'd run late because this is a lot of good content and I wanted to leave enough time for you guys to ask questions in a minute. So you know what those most watched videos are. We gave you examples in the slides that you'll receive. You'll be able to click on the link and look at them even further. Recording and editing. One thing that's not on here I want to stress again is the importance of good audio. Good audio matters better than good video. Lighting will help make sure that you've got good quality video.
Yeah.
But audio is number one. And then recording or the editing piece of it. If you're not nerdy about it, don't do it. Hire it out because it is very time consuming. Corey likes video. Corey likes marketing. So he'll take the time because it's fun for him. It's not fun for me. I hate editing, which is why I use TikTok. And then where to post. We talked about it before. You guys know your audience. Where is your audience? Is your audience based on demographics on Facebook? Are they on Instagram? Are they on TikTok? Where are they? And what do they need to hear from you? That's where you post.
I would focus on vertical video content. Because even Mark with Facebook had said possibly by the end of this year, even Facebook will be all vertical video content. Now, again, there's no open API for marketers to schedule on people's stories or reels. Soon as they open that up, marketers will destroy that route. So maximize your opportunity right now.
Hello,
Hi.
BJ, mute you.
No different than what you guys
just a minute,
probably-
just hot stop.
when rates were super low and it's like, take advantage of this market. Homes have never been more affordable. Well, guess what? Now they're not so affordable. Now prices are up and rates are up. So for you to take the lesson out of that and apply it to social and video, do the vertical video content. Done is better than perfect. Take the E out of ego and just go. It's not about you, it's about who you can serve. The more you learn, the more you can serve. And there's stuff you guys know that other people don't. They may think they know, but that's exactly why you have to consistently post and flush out the misconceptions out there. Because still one of the top 3 terms being searched on Google is, are we in a housing bubble?
Mhm.
I have a question. I've read some different things about time, how long videos should be. One of the big ones that I read recently, it was saying keep it under 3 minutes.
I mean,
Nay.
the reels that I see that are performing the best are between 7 and 13 seconds.
Mhm.
That's-
15,
but
try to
that's-
say it in 15 seconds, 30 at the.
Because most people are, you gotta remember, if you
They're
were to
scrolling.
watch people swipe, people are just swipe, swipe, swipe.
So 15, 30 seconds.
But if you're doing more of an educational video, I always say just address what you say you're gonna talk about, be clear and concise. Don't focus on how long for algorithms. Focus on what is the question, what do people want to hear, because they want you to get to the point. I had someone send me their video on YouTube that was 9 minutes long, asked for my feedback, and I was like, dude, your hook, you didn't even address your hook until 2.5 minutes in. I would have, that's the whole bait and switch. Like people they want to learn, they want content, they want information, because number one, they don't trust you have their best interest at heart.
Keep it concise and to the point.
Concise, clear, confident, good energy. So making sure eye contact is important. Don't say, hey, friends, like people want to feel like you're just talking to them. So eye contact in the camera, flirt a little bit with the camera. You know, you could move your body a little bit so it's a little bit more engaging, but having good energy really matters. And guys, this takes time sometimes to practice, because I'll watch client videos and they ask for my feedback and they're like, and these are people who do great with presenting, but as soon as the camera gets on them, they're like, and I'm like, do you even like your job? Because I'm not feeling you like your job right now. Like, and I want you to like your job, because I'm hiring you to do a job. I want you to like it. So don't be like, maybe hit record and pretend like it's not even on, and just go through some frequently asked questions that.
And sometimes it's better if you have someone you're talking to that you trust and you record the video talking to somebody. That's a lot more comfortable. So for those of you guys on Zoom, what Melissa asked is how long did the videos need to be? The one thing I will add is people love stories. I mean, think about it. People will watch a longer video if it's interesting. They watch movies. They watch shows. So if it's interesting, people will listen. But if you're just trying to post to get some information out and it's not an interesting story, keep it short.
And people,
Short
like
and
if
to the
you're
point.
doing your makeup in the morning while you're telling the story, people are like fascinated of like just watching you. That's it's weird how it works. Or maybe when Corey's blow drying his hair and he's trying out different hair gels. It's like, if you're doing that and you're telling a story of maybe how a problem you solve, like people are watching just in fascination of like, is that like natural? Or does he diffuse it? Like, does that look like a blow dry? Like, okay. I figured you cheated.
It's a perm. All right, is anybody else well, here's a couple of examples I'll run through just so that you guys have it, just to, because I want you guys, for anyone that records their first video and texts it to me today, I'll send you a prize. No, you have to shoot it today and text it to me.
What if they tag you?
That's the best thing to do. Because then I use your algorithms and you get mine. Yeah. Then you get extra points.
We'll go live right now.
Go live. Show us
On your
how it's done.
stories, it's really good to ask questions, anything that can create engagement. So there's a sticker button that if you put like, you know, what's your beer of choice for this basketball game, or who do you think is going to win, or anything that will make it easy for people to just respond, it helps create engagement.
Here's some more examples of people that are doing video in a bold way. Again, you guys in the slide, you can click and actually follow, you know, check these people out. But content matters, and we've got, you know, that's what Deb does, is contenting and strategy, because getting your message out there and making sure that people see it does require strategy. So put a marketing calendar together of what you're going to do when, because sometimes the problem is you don't know what you're going to say. So cover that by just spending a little bit of time making a list. Who's my ideal client? What are their biggest struggles? How do I create a video around that? And then put together a marketing calendar. Anybody, oh, the other thing that I was going to tell you guys, I am working on creating a studio for you guys to use. And in the studio, I'll have podcast equipment. I will have video equipment,
All your lighting, all the production.
lighting, the audio, the camera, all the equipment. And my thoughts are, we would get, for those of you guys that are worried about what you look like, we'll have a makeup artist and someone to, you know, do hairstylist, Colby, and then a content coach. So you guys can just come in knowing that you've got an hour to work on a message that you want to deliver and create videos around, just to help you guys get over the fear of videos. So
Maybe
we'll
start with some margaritas, some tequila shots, loosen you up a little bit.
Brandy will
Liquid
not
courage.
get in front of people or do a video without a shot. So, yeah.
Michelle,
Yes.
will you go back 2 slides and show that strategy calendar one more time, please?
There you go. So you guys can write down ideas. Deborah gave you some ideas, and here are some more ideas.
If you think about like anytime we do inspirational quotes, that obviously has a wider net, because more than just your client base of who you want to be clients, it could resonate with them. Sometimes a funny meme, same thing. Anytime I post for lenders, anything about credit or finance, there's way more engagement than, say, interest rate updates or, you know, is a recession coming? I mean, the amount of content I have to consume is literally like the oxygen that I breathe. When I'm on TikTok at 3 a.m., I get to say it's research, but it's it's constantly changing. So sometimes the trends today, it could be different tomorrow. I mean, there was over 500 updates just last year, and that's because, again, they're constantly changing it up so that eventually you have to pay for ads, because all of them are still free at this time. So coming up with a strategy that is, so you're not overdoing it in one area. That's what I like about having a 30,000 foot above view content counter. It's no different than working out. Like if every Monday was back and buys, if you didn't have a content counter or area of focus, what if you did back and buys every day? That's why you see the dudes with no legs, right? Like no calves, whatever that mean is. But you know, it gives you an area of focus. So when you have carved out maybe 10 minutes every morning of what is going to be my social time, again, focus on relationships. That's what social is about, being social. I mean, people are starved for connection. They want to feel significant. Any client that you've done business with, making sure you've liked or commented is important. That's how you make people feel like it wasn't just a transaction. Because if you've done a phenomenal job and you don't reach out to them in the first 90 days after, immediately the positioning in their brain is going to go to, it was a transaction to you. You don't want that, because our business is the best business model ever, and the best ROI is going to be built off referrals and relationships. And there's an ROI on your database right now if you learned how to execute it correctly, and social can help with that.
I didn't close the loop or finish my story on the Headway, the book that I listened to this morning on Headway. And it's a book called Steal Like an Artist from Cohen is his last name. Can't think of his first name. Anyway, Steal Like an Artist. You guys swipe and adapt other people's ideas and deliver it in your own unique way. if you come up with a great idea, we love it because we're going to swipe and adapt your idea. So it's okay. It's okay.
Actually, that's a strategy of mine on TikTok. The people that I like their videos, I can then go into the liked section where I'll pull up who were all the accounts I liked. And those are all the different videos that I'm telling my clients to reenact. So I just have to hit the like button and then I can go to that grid and I can see, okay, these are all the videos that every week I send my clients like their playbook for the following week of Monday through Friday. Here's what I want you to do. Here's hyperlinked videos that you can swipe and adapt. Here's reels or TikTok examples. So just during my bathtub time at 2 a.m. when I'm scrolling and trying to come up with ideas and looking at what's working, that's a really easy way in TikTok. Just whatever you like, you can then go to that grid.
Oh, you can go back to what you liked?
When you pull up your,
I look at TikTok all the time,
yeah,
but I don't know, I didn't know you could go back and find what you liked before.
yeah.
I literally will share it to my text and then I just act like I'm texting myself and I have to scroll back.
No, you just
I-
hit the
I'm
like.
silly
Yeah.
on TikTok. Oh,
So Stacy was just asking, for those of you guys on Zoom, she didn't know you could sort by videos that you had liked in the past.
So
So
that's my content, like idea.
still like an
Take-
artist.
I will also say answerthepublic.com.
Yes.
Is a great website.
Answerthepublic.com is a website you can go to find trending questions.
Sometimes you just type in, if you type in a topic like real estate, it'll just generate hundreds of questions of just different topics you can discuss.
It's like a wheel of like
Yeah.
how.
What'd you say it
what
was again?
questions-
Answerthepublic.com. Do
What'd you
what?
say? Mhm.
Google Trends is another place to go to see what people are searching.
Which that's really important. You want to create content that people want to see or learn about.
But at the end of the day, you guys also know your clients and you know what questions that they're asking over and over. You know what their fears are. Address them.
Making it hyper local is important. If I could tell y'all to focus on any platform, I'd say build your YouTube up because Google owns YouTube. Google My Business. Most people don't realize you can post to your Google My Business listing, which is going to help with local SEO. And you got to get at least 100 photos up there as much as like pretty quickly. But then obviously the beast, I mean, Facebook is still #1. Instagram and TikTok. I mean, TikTok is where it's at. It's where what the kids want to see. So.
Yep. All right. Anybody have any other questions or comments? Is everybody comfortable enough to try it today? Do it in your car. Do it in a quiet place. It doesn't matter where you do it.
Doesn't mean you have to post it either.
Good. Good dog.
Make sure you tag me
Stacy,
too.
you have a fun personality. Get on video. People love you.
30-second thing. Because I'm showing the mountain bike trails in North Texas.
That's different.
How to use-
You can go up to
how
60
use
seconds.
horizontal for iMovie in order to click the.
You can-
unless Another app allows. I'm eventually gonna have to do that. But
You can go up to 60 seconds. I mean, you don't have to just keep it at 30 seconds. You can go up to 60.
I've never done TikTok. I've just done.
TikTok is
Facebook.
some accounts can go up to 10 minutes now. Yeah.
You can do longer.
On TikTok, you can go longer. You just need to make sure you're creating a story out of it to keep
See,
people.
Debbie, on that sort of thing, if you're going to do video of you on the bike trails, and make that your thing, you could do longer videos, and then you could have someone that you hired on Fiverr that you send the long videos to and ask them to cut them into micro content. So they have the long video available to watch, but your hook would be the micro content teasing them, and then they can go watch the full video.
Okay, I mean, I'm keeping it still to about 5 minutes on YouTube.
That's good.
Two left so far.
Yeah.
Keep building, keep doing it.
But the hashtags is also a question.
Hashtag is a question. You want to address hashtag? If anybody's got to go, we totally understand. Thank you guys for coming.
Thank you.
So moving to Texas on YouTube, would you just do hashtag moving to Texas, and then if somebody looked up moving to Texas, they would look it up like a hashtag.
Right.
They would separate the words.
Mhm.
But,
If you can think of it like a search engine of how,
We're having the hashtag conversation for you guys on Zoom that's still
or
hanging
think
in
of
there.
keywords, like what are going to be, how do you write the description that's keyword rich for what people could be searching? And sometimes just changing one word makes a big difference. Like moving to Texas or moving to Dallas actually will rank higher, and I haven't gone back and looked, than people who say, you know, best neighborhoods in Dallas. Yeah, so you have to really look. I use TubeBuddy. It's also a free, you can pay for the upgraded
Tube
version,
buddy.
and it'll show you what's getting the most traffic. I can even creep on other competitor accounts and see what's working for them, what videos I can tell my clients to rip off and duplicate. I use it.
Steal like an artist.
Steal. I think Tom Ferry says rip off and duplicate. Oh,
Okay.
R&D. So look, I would invest in TubeBuddy, get the free version, and it'll help show you what's working, what's not, even with just certain hooks. Tube, 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 yeah.
Mhm. Yeah. Where did you search the hashtags like yesterday for TikTok?
You really just have to Google trending hashtags for whatever you're looking
Trend,
for.
you
and
can just
trending
Google
sounds.
trending hashtags and trending sounds. You can Google.
There's a lot of science behind it with like the number of accounts, like how many followers you currently have, and based off that hashtag, like home buyers, how large is that hashtag? So there's a lot of different aspects to it. I would say with Instagram, it's not as important as it used to be. And you don't want to overdo, like it used to be 30 hashtags, and in the
Mhm.
comments you do 30. Really, you need like 3 or 5. And it used to be centered around like location, your brand, like keywords of what the actual image was about, not just because you're trying. You got to remember that the algorithms know what you're trying to do, and when you're trying to beat the system, they're going to change the system so you can't beat the system. So that's why you got to jump on some of these trends, like right now with reels and vertical video content and going live. Like every post you make, if you added it to your story, that you're always going to get the most eyeballs for free that way. Like I posted a stupid reel that got 10,000 views. There was no real value except for humor, and it was free. If I had to pay for ads to get the same kind of views, I probably would have spent close to $1,000.
Mhm.
So that's where it's at right now. Vertical video content. If you had to focus on any activity. Yeah. Yeah. Yep. That's it.
Deb is so getting into this. I love it.
I love it. Get ready. TikTok is a dark hole. You get lost because it's entertaining. You get to see adults be kids again. That's what I loved about it. Is
Mhm.
I had so much judgment and hate, even from my sister. She's like, I can't believe you're on TikTok. I'm like, okay, just wait. You're over here talking about Clubhouse. Like, that's not going to last. I bet TikTok is going to take over. Like, I just know. And sure enough. I mean, but you never know. I mean, Gary Vee says you should be doing 4 TikToks a day. 4. It doesn't all have to be about real
But
estate.
yeah, they're 15 seconds. Just hold a camera, hit record. Post. You just never know what people are going to watch and listen to.
Right. Just be the that's what I like. Just be the content.
Yeah.
Don't think you're creating content. Then you feel like you're performing. Just be the content. Deborah A. Bird. We have to really make sure.
BYRD.
DEBORAH. For
Um,
Instagram, it's Deborah A. Bird, and then the business one is plug and play _SM, which that's a good lesson too. My business account got hacked and I lost it, never got it back. So I had to start all over because I didn't have the 2-way verification. I was that child that doesn't even take my own advice, and it got hacked. So I had to start all over.
But I had 2-way verification and still got hacked. It just makes it harder to get hacked.
Just, you know, I
Hey,
mean,
but you know what? It happens.
it's the new
It's-
TV commercial. It's the new radio ads. I don't even watch TV. I consume YouTube, social media. I mean, and you got to think of the different demographics, like the Gen Zs who were born with an iPad in their hand, where there is no boundary of online and offline. it's weird to the baby boomers because baby boomers, you got to think social media came about when they were already established in their careers that they're like, why would anyone want to see a picture of my food? So you have to have empathy for like people on your teams that are trying to embrace. It's so foreign to them because they weren't born with an iPad in their hand. And even Gen X, they were already established in their careers. Yes, the internet was around, but social media wasn't big. They were, you know, it's the smallest demographic. They're in the most leadership positions, but they also value friends and family. It's when sitcoms like 90210 came out. And then you have millennials, which is the Y generation. They are research obsessed. They're going to look up everything. They're never going to take what you say. There is no brand loyalty. It is, you have to prove it. Like whatever your core values are, I would say prove it on social. If you say it's proactive communication, prove it. And do your testimonials. What your people say about you doesn't match what you say about you. Because they are all about sniff testing the bullshit out because they don't trust. They were kids during the housing crash. They are not super trusting of anyone in real estate or finance because their parents were having conversations with them. They're better budgeters, but they don't have any money to budget because they have the highest amount of student loan debt. But they're more socially influenced, big time. And then Gen Zs, there's never been a boundary. Where they go to learn is online. Before they go look at a restaurant, they're going to Yelp. Like everything is now, it's digital for them. So as you grow a team and the people that you're, you know, also working with, it could be foreign to them and have empathy for that. I mean, my older sister, she's a VP at JP Morgan and she hates social media and she hates lenders and real estate agents because she's on the investment side. And she's like, she's a Gen Xer. You know, she's like, I don't know why you have to post everything. I'm like, I don't know why you keep such greatness a secret. Like some people need what you have. And I go back to using social for good, not the vanity metrics, not to manipulate, not to make people feel bad, but I always hashtag social good. And there's a dad on TikTok who was raised without a dad. And all he does is make videos about all the things that a dad should teach you growing up. And he went viral because he used it for social good, where he's showing you how to tie a knot, you know, on a fishing line and showing you how to change. So you can use it for good and not use it to boast or to manipulate because marketers do have a bad rap of manipulating. Like the people who get out of that Lamborghini and the helicopter because they want to look like a big deal or they've bought likes. That's my biggest thing is I can see how many people have bought followers and bought likes just to look like a big deal. I'm like, I'd rather you be a big deal to the people that matter. Like you could have 100,000 followers and yet you're still so lonely in your bed every night because you have no real friends. You know, it's like, what do you want? What is your brand legacy? What do you want to be known for? I love that when my father-in-law passed away, I can go look at his Facebook and I can remember because I don't keep up with photo albums anymore. I don't print out photos, but you better believe when my kids were born, I created an Instagram account for them and I was posting pictures for them so that one day they could go back and look like, oh, that was my lazy mom hack of not keeping up with photo albums. But, you know, again, think of what is my brand legacy? What is the character of my brand? What are the core values? When you meet with someone and say, why me? Why should they use you? Don't tell me it's because you care. What does that mean? How does that impact them? And then prove it in your social feed. And sometimes it's by getting your clients to give testimonials, not you posting a testimonial or posting their words. What if you ask them or get your title rep at closing and say, hey, when I walk out of here to help make copies of all this, would you be willing to capture, like train your escrow officers to be your videographers of the clients at the closing table, what they're most excited about and how you help them navigate this journey right now, which has been brutal.
All right.
That was a lot of talking, sorry.
No, it's all good. I mean, it's just a good reminder. Just get on video.
Yeah.
Too late.
We're actually all. Yeah.
All right. Thank you.
Any questions?
Oh, yeah. That's my stage.
All right. Kim, do you have any questions? Kim Dimma?
I don't, because this was really good, but I like that the calendar. I think that was probably my favorite part, is having some good content on this. And while you were doing this, I was ordering the camera and the microphone. So
I love it. Good.
Way to
Good.
take action. Good.
Yeah, she's an action taker. So you guys spend a little bit of time and get really clear about how you want people to see and hear you, and put together your calendar. If you are in the mortgage lending space and are looking for someone to help you with that, that's what Deborah Bird can help you with. She can put together content or help you with the content and put that calendar together and send you an email on Mondays telling you exactly what videos to record and how to get them posted. So in true to who you are, not just a generic calendar, which is really important. You guys be you. We love you just as you are, imperfections and all. So just get on camera and just be yourself.
Hey, Michelle.
Yeah.
Hi, this is Jeff Austin.
Hi, Jeff.
I would love to see y'all put one together and do the editing, like on the, that's kind of what I was hoping we would see today. So if y'all want to do part 2 sometime.
Yes, we can do this as a workshop next time.
Yeah.
You guys are actually going around in your own private space and recording a video, and then we all come together and show each other. That's a really good idea, Jeff.
Okay, thank you.
It wouldn't be a
Would-
CE class. It would just be a workshop, and that could be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I'll let you know because we'll do that.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, Kim.
on that note, are you okay with me swiping and adapting some of this stuff to do a workshop here in Idaho? Because this is
Yeah, I'll give you the slides. You'll get the slides, Kim.
You
awesome.
can also read it from Speak.
Yep. Yeah. Deborah will come to you.
Actually,
Okay.
Hey, and
California,
I might come
too.
with her, Kim.
Okay, so that actually is on my agenda, that we need to make that happen.
That'll be
Is
a
she an
fun
agent
trip.
or lender?
Mhm.
I was just in Reno. with
Yeah, she
her
just
deal.
went to Shayla's branch and did class.
Oh,
So-
that's awesome. You know, and Boise's almost as cool.
That was my first time to Reno.
Yeah, I've
We've
not
got to
been-
get you out of the South, and we've got to get you going west.
I go to
Okay.
California tomorrow and the Bahamas in like a month.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Nice.
Hey, we'll do the road show you said you wanted. All right, you guys
Give me my
do a
oil
video.
boy.
You guys could do a video right now. Jeff, here's your video idea. Just record yourself sitting in front of your camera and go, oh my gosh, I'm scared to death. I'm sure you wouldn't say it like this, Jeff. That doesn't sound like a manly thing to say.
No,
I'm scared to death. You gotta get your hands going like, I'm scared to death
I
to do
mean,
this.
I
You
know,
can
I am terrified, actually
Say,
terrified.
do a video and say, so I was just in this class and this crazy
Yeah,
was telling us about the importance of video and how we should make it around what our audience would like to learn more about. So I'm curious, audience, either send me a direct message, put a note in the comments. What questions do you have regarding real estate or mortgage, whatever you're in, that if you had more information on, you feel like it would help you either make better financial decisions or better blah, blah, blah. And just ask your audience, what would you want to learn more about? What fears do you have around the recession? What questions do you have about interest rates? Those of you who are on fixed incomes, where you're probably feeling the pain of inflation, what is your strategy of how you're going to leverage debt when inflation's only expected to increase? Do you know how you can use your home's equity possibly? Like, I mean, just
But I would use this as a jumping off point and just say, I haven't done video. I know I need to do video, but I would love to hear from you. What would you like for me to cover? What questions do you have that I can get answers for? Just keep it simple.
is he a lender too?
He's a realtor.
Yeah, you're on video right now, buddy. We're actually live streaming.
so me, I'm ready. Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah, you got to go, hey, I'm scared.
If you follow the real Brad Lee, his language is kind of bad, but the real Brad Lee has a camera that's set up all day long. We call it the Brad camera. where he's coaching all day, but it's recording what he's coaching, and then they just make that into micro clips of, like, literally, it's not creating, you're just being the content. You're just,
Yeah.
you be you, like, you know, and that's ironically what people are asking you and their struggles, you know, right now for real estate agents. I think one of the #1 issues is, like, I hate my house. I would move. I hated it the day I bought it. I never saw the home when I bought it. I was moving from Houston and I was like, I want that one. Never saw it. I have 4 kids, 3 boys. As soon as we arrive, I'm like, all right, this backyard, not gonna work. Like, we have balls in the alley nonstop. I would move, but my biggest concern is, where am I gonna go?
Yeah.
What am I gonna find? You know, so it's like, if you had a lender partner like Michelle or anyone at Guild, here's how we can help you move with a non-contingent offer where you can move and then sell your home. So you remove that source of friction where it's like, okay, then I don't worry about being homeless, of selling my house at a 2% rate, because that's the other area of friction.
Yeah,
Is like,
I
do
just
really-
refinanced and I have a 2% rate. Now you're gonna tell me I gotta pay more for a house and pay 6.5% or whatever it's gonna end up being, 7% or whatever. Why would I do that?
What's your
Well,
motivation?
What's
Like,
your
what's the-
motivation? Is it because you don't like your house? Or is it
I hate my
because you
house.
have equity and you have credit card debt and it's the only way you can really wipe out that credit card debt and you're really worried about going into the, you know, the next couple of years with this credit card debt? What's your motivation?
I think there's a lot of timely messages right now for self-employed people who need to find ways of not paying taxes. You can buy investment properties and take upfront up to 5 years and do cost segregation where it will help with your, like, I had self-employed borrowers, they would keep the max of finance properties and they would just buy and sell as soon as they could. They didn't care about agent commissions. They didn't care about interest rate. They needed it for tax purposes. I am one of those people where I'm like, how else can I legally not pay taxes? Because I pay so much in taxes. And there's a lot of expenses with what I do.
You guys, there's another opportunity for videos right now. We got tax appraised values coming out on the 28th. People they're not paying attention to that stuff until their payment goes up. But you could start the conversation now. Why does it matter? What should they be looking at when they get that statement in the mail? And why does it matter to them? Another great video. Series of videos, because people have to hear the same message how many times?
Well, depending on the learning style, a lot. We got some special people, but usually
So,
21 times.
21
7 to
times. There you go,
21
Will.
times. 7 to 21.
Okay.
It's the conditioning, so you don't know how much you have to, shift their paradigm, which, guys, let me tell you this, the amount of the rental increases I would make that a message that should scare you more than prices increasing or rates increasing, because your interest rate on a rental property is 100% and those landlords are owning the market. So if you want any kind of housing budget, you need to have a mortgage where you don't have to fear your landlord increasing $600 every year. Like, it's a great place to be a landlord right now or a homeowner, because there's some security. And don't forget, yes, the home creates generational wealth, but it also creates generational memories. So make sure you invite your clients to tag you when they're looking at paint samples for the first time in Home Depot, or take that photo of the kid who's taking their first steps on the wood floors or throwing their sippy cup for the 18th time, because that is the reality of home. You go there and you can fart and nobody cares because it's your home. Like, it's a safe place that people want the security of.
You can do that.
Dutch oven, your spot. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, but it's just your place that you look forward to when you're traveling. It's like, don't forget what the home is, a shelter. It's a thing that you need.
All right. Well, this is I've held you guys late before, but never this late. But as long as you guys want information, we're here to provide it. No, I'm not rushing you. I'm just
I could talk all day about this.
Oh, me too. Me too. All right, those of you guys, I've got gifts for those of you guys who have stuck with us the entire time. So if that is you, come on up here after class. And if you have any following questions, let us know. We'll hang around for a little while. Record a video, tag me when you post it.
Look for me, Deborah A. Bird, or plug-and-play_SM on Instagram. Plug and play SM. That stands for social media. Some people ask me, are those your initials? I'm like, no, it's social media. You don't even want to know what my middle school kids made up for DB, where I'm like, okay, I'm just not even gonna.
Don't even
Anyways.
go there. Yeah.
We should probably turn
All
off
right.
the recording at this point.
Tom, are you gonna do a video now? Good,
Good.
good. I'm gonna check them out. I'll share them too.
That's a great video, text are huge.
Yeah.
Oh, good. So you see me on all the calls then.
That's why you came today. What are you talking about?
Good. I've got my
All
one
right.
by noon planner in my bag. Mhm. Use it every day.
Corey and Colby don't ever show up for me. They're here for you.
I feel so honored.
That's not true, but, oh, well,
You must
You were
not
a
follow us on
bonus.
social.
I'm just harassing them because they're easy. All right. Thank y'all very much.
Thank you, it's awesome.
And I'll take Jeff's suggestion and we'll just do a workshop. Bye, Zoom.
There's someone on the call with the initials GTILB. I need your email address. If you could put that in the chat, that would be great.
This is Gene Tilby. I actually
Oh.
just added my email address. So can you confirm you got it? I sent it to
Yes,
BJ.
I see it. Yes, I got it. Thank you very much.
Awesome. And if you would send that to diedyer@live.com too, that would be great.
Okay, I got it.
Thank you so much. Appreciate your help.
You're welcome. Glad you were here with us today.
Have a wonderful day.
You too. Bye now.